How could anybody who has actually watched this team for now 7 weeks think that the New York Yankees are good when they field the embarrassing lineup that they did yesterday? You could tell me that, wow, with the injuries, they want to go against, they're going against the lefties, and give the Mets credit for that, throwing another 2 lefties at them, but they have to have Jones in the lineup. They have to have J.D. Davis. Those guys shouldn't be in the big leagues. If they are, they shouldn't be in the starting lineup, and if they are in the starting lineup, they shouldn't be batting first and fourth. So you could say that you're forced to have them in the game, then you should not be having them hitting first and fourth. It hurt the Yankees last night, and Severino was right. This is not a team. This is a two-man show, and if you get one of the guys out and pitch around the other, you're going to win, just like the Mets did yet again last night.
Everybody made a big deal out of Severino's text to his buddies. I mean, I think everybody that follows baseball has been texting their own buddies the same thing.
Yeah.
It's so obviously, painfully apparent that this team just, they don't have it. I don't know how many different ways to say it here. I'm actually getting to the point, and this is a strange place to be as a Yankee fan. I've been here as a Jets fan, all right, where, remember when I was here with the Yankees a couple of years ago, actually, but it's more with the Jets where, in previous years, you hope they lose this game, then maybe get a better draft pick, and maybe if you lose enough, then this guy's going to get fired and things are going to change. I'm starting to think that I want the Yankees to stumble and continue to stumble going into the trade deadline to force Brian Cashman not to mess around, because right now, you hear it, maybe they're going to reunite with Chad Green, bring a stop. The Yankees, this isn't a little tweak. The Yankees need some surgery here. They got to bring in some pieces. And I don't feed too much into, Sal, the hype of the Subway Series. Don't get me wrong, it's fun. I do enjoy it.
Right.
It's different than playing the Blue Jays or playing the White Sox or playing the Twins. Yanks-Mets still resonates with me, but not to the point where it's over-the-top insanity. It's almost 30 years we've been doing this, so I'm a little desensitized to it. But could you at least please show us that you care a lick about beating the Mets? It's not like you just split the previous series. You lost 2 games to the Mets. And last night, that AAA, if that lineup they trotted out, was an embarrassment, and it's all Cashman's fault.
Well, the Yankees are supposed to be a World Series contender this year. The Mets were barely supposed to be a 500 team, and the Mets have taken the first 3 of the matchups, of the 4 matchups, head-to-head with the Yanks. Obviously, Cole on the mound tonight. He's got to be the stopper, otherwise it's going to be further embarrassment. Look, honestly, the Mets have bigger fish to fry about Atlanta coming up after this series, so the Subway Series is now in, at least from my perspective, they won the Subway Series. That part of it, the Met-Yankee draw, it'd be nice to sweep the Yankees, but that part of it's over. The Yankees are a mess. This isn't about just losing to the Mets. Look at the New York Yankees. And you're saying, BT, you hope that they bleed out here ahead of the deadline, which is now less than a week away, so that Cashman can do something. I think it's the opposite. If they continue to lose here, how can you justify trading Spencer Jones for a piece that's not going to help this team? There is not a move or 2 moves that can be made that can save this team. That's how bad they are. Keep telling me about the landscape and the postseason in the American League, the way that it looks. Well, they'll be a playoff team. Not if they continue like this. They aren't any good. Whether it's the starters, whether it's the bullpen, whether it's the lineup, whether it's the defense. DJ LeMahieu again yesterday in an Olay play. I mean, the New York Yankees are an embarrassment to a point where the Mets just literally pitched around Aaron Judge all night, and they should have done it again in the 9th inning. They got away with one pitching to him. But Diekman, think about this. The Yankees, the New York Yankees, at home, down a run with the top of their order coming up with Jake Diekman, who shouldn't be in the major leagues, on the mound, and they can't even get to him, getting walking Soto and striking out Aaron Judge. I mean, that's how bad the Yankees are. I don't believe that they can be fixed.
I mean, their play is indefensible. We're trying to explain away the same results, and I mean, I'm done with it. I really don't have anything else to say, which is very odd because my profession is to speak. What else do I say about this team that I haven't already said?
Well, what you could say is that they're not worth saving.
Well, that's where I totally disagree. That is a fundamental disagreement between you and I here.
And at what point are you going to get there? Like, you're going to give up Spencer Jones for this
I don't know what Spencer Jones is going to be. I don't. I have to give this team a chance with the big 3. I do think Garrett Cole's all the way back. Hopefully he proves me right tonight, pitches well. I think he will.
You think the Yankees are a better team than the Mets?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Based on what exactly?
Well, based on the record. You can start with the record.
Oh, because they played well, to start the season, the first 2 months?
Well, I mean,
how's their record head-to-head?
It's not good.
Okay, well, the Mets have won 3.
Understood.
So if we're going based on the record of the 2 teams.
But I don't go on that. It's not football.
Me neither. But you said based on the record. I'm going based on what I've seen for the last since the end of May. The Mets have been one of the best teams in baseball, and the Yankees have been one of the worst.
I don't listen. I'm not saying the Yankees are good.
And by the way, it doesn't matter.
I'm not saying that.
It doesn't matter Mets versus Yankees, but it just emphasizes.
That matters a little bit.
Well, but it emphasizes the point about the Yankees not being.
I don't disagree. Like right now. I took Latin in high school. I forgot most of it. If I remembered it, I would say it in Latin. Yankees stink. I mean, how else to say it?
Right.
They're not good. I could say it in Pig Latin, which we used to do in grammar school. I mean, I could say it a million ways sideways. Not good. But I do fundamentally push back strongly. If they make the right move, that's why I'm so still passionate about this season. There's been other years where I just knew deep down, like, Judge gets hurt. What are you going to really do? There's nothing to do to salvage the season. Last night, if Chisholm's in the batter's box or Ryan McMahon's in the batter's box, to me, it's I can't guarantee a different result. It's baseball. I'm not going to be that presumptuous, but it certainly increases the odds of performing better. And then you factor in the Judge and the Soto. To me, it is salvageable. If they don't bring in big guns, it is criminal. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. Last night was the defeatist attitude. I tweeted before the game that, this is the lineup that you I say this because this is very important to me. I feed into it. You and I have fun, and I do want to beat the Mets. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
I don't like losing 3 straight to the Mets. But since it was introduced in 1997, it's been almost 30 years. So a little desensitized to the Yankees-Mets hype, but still. I don't want to get broomed by you guys. And
especially this year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Given the Yankees' expectations, given the Yankees start, given the Mets' modest expectations, the Mets' bad start.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say you can't lose 4 games to the Mets, but if you do, it's just pathetic. You've already lost 3. And last night, I think the most aggravating part was there was almost this concession. It seemed, and I know that they did care, but the presentation in the lineup was that they didn't care if they won. That's unacceptable.
Think about the roster. I mean, they're pinch hitting.
It sucks.
That's what I'm saying.
I know.
So 2 guys are going to help this.
Because of the 2 guys they already have. That's the only reason, Sal.
By the way, I know we touched on it a little bit. I just want to hammer it home again.
Yep.
How can you, in what world are the Yankees and their front office? I'm not even going to put this on Boone because I don't believe he makes the lineup out. And if he does, then that's a major issue.
Yep.
In what world, analytically or with your eyes, do you think that it's okay to have Jones leading off and J.D. Davis, a guy who couldn't make it with the Mets a year ago, a couple years ago, whatever it's been, J.D. Davis was cut by the Mets or traded by the Mets, can't make it with the Giants, got cut by the freaking Athletic A's, the Oakland Athletics, the A's who aren't even a real franchise, and the Yankees have him batting cleanup. If you're going to have those guys in the lineup, bat them 8th and 9th.
Yep.
And even then, it's bad enough that they're in the lineup. They should not move move Torres up to clean up and move Volpe up to the leadoff spot, who's been hot lately. What, you don't want to juggle Volpe? Hey, is he a big leaguer or not? What, are you going to handle him with kid gloves? Volpe's been on fire. Why not move him to the top of the order? Why not move Gleyber Torres behind Judge, make it a little more difficult to pitch around Aaron Judge? Doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense. There are very few options. That's on Brian Cashman. I'm with you on I don't say fully exonerating Aaron Boone, but again, last night, Sam McMahon, we had a couple of quality at-bats. Okay, he had 2 runs, he had 5 hits. 2 runs and 5 hits. And listen, fundamental, we'll get to these calls.
By the way, how about Verdugo? Did you see him bunting?
I did, of course.
What is Verdugo? First and second, he's
with nobody out. With nobody out.
For the 8-9 hitters.
I know.
Are you out of your mind?
I know. A little softer. A little softer might be a hit. He just hit it too hard. But that's what happens when you're desperate. That's what happens. And by the way, Verdugo, could you make the play in left field?
Yeah.
Did you see that? No. You got to make that play.
I was more mad at McNeil for not. I mean, I don't know how you don't score.
That was crazy. I don't know what and they were saying on the broadcast, the worst, you go very aggressively 3 quarters. He almost got lapped too to not score on that.
Should have been on third even before that on the base hit to the right side. It was a poorly played baseball game by both sides, but the Yankees took the cake last night.
They took the cake and they took the L, as they should. They're 0-3 against the New York Mets. They've got the Boston Red Sox coming up after tonight. 3 in Boston, 3 in Philly. I mean, there's a very good chance that And I do think they'll play well tonight because of Cole. And I think we'll see a different lineup. But if they lose tonight, I mean, it's not inconceivable that this team goes 2-5 over the next couple of games. And I got to tell you, I have pushed back at Sal. He has said for a while now, playoffs aren't guaranteed. Playoffs are. And I've said, stop. Come on, stop. I still believe they're going. But now I'm starting to look at that wild card standing just for the first time. I really studied it today. And I don't like what I saw coming at me. Not that the gap is so little, but it's what the Yankees put on the field every night combined with the dwindling, padding, if you will, in the standings.
Right.
Cashman, you better get to work or you failed as much as any GM in the history of any sport in any team in the city. You have those two superstars and Cole making 3. You better wake up and do something. Disgraceful.
BT and Sal on the Fan. Your calls 888.
They are awful.
I understand. 888-808-1019 is the number. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Corey is in Stamford. What's up, Corey?
BT, Sal, what's up?
What's up?
Hey, Corey.
Listen, this team sucks. They suck. The team sucks. The manager sucks. Everybody sucks except for Judge, Soto, obviously, maybe Volpe. What Verdugo did, why would you bunt with your fast? Okay, you bunted, all right, with Narvaez behind you. Why would you do that?
Narvaez.
Why would you put Narvaez ahead of LeMahieu, who we know has been terrible lately, but you trust him more to do what needs to be done in a situation like that? You're going to bunt for Narvaez to score Volpe, and if you are going to bunt, you got your fastest runner at third base now. Why don't you have Narvaez bunt again and do a suicide squeeze? You expect Narvaez to drive in the run? You have that much trust in Narvaez? Look at the lineup that they put out. This is a disgrace. It's embarrassment. The team sucks. The manager sucks. They need a complete overhaul. They're not going anywhere this year.
And thanks for the call. Sorry, Corey, to cut you short there. Thank you for the call. We appreciate that. I'm not going to say the manager sucks and they need a complete overhaul, although I do think that I would lean that way, that this is not something that can be fixed at the trade deadline. Look, they have all-world talent in Soto and Judge and Garrett Cole. It's not enough. Since Cole has come back, the Yankees still have not been able to get out of their run. I know he's just starting to pitch like himself as of late, but still, with Soto and Judge healthy in their lineup, BT, it's nowhere near enough. Nowhere near enough. Think about that. The Mets strategically go, okay, we're going to beat the Yankees, and they did this in the first round. And I was ripping them for saying, how you pushing Severino or going with the lefties. They go, we're going to throw lefties at him, and they're not going to be able to beat us, and we're going to pitch around Aaron Judge. Finally, they get the hint. I've been screaming it for months. How anybody in baseball could throw Aaron Judge a strike with this Yankee lineup? You got to be an idiot to do so. Yeah. And the Mets finally took a hint here and walked him 4 times, and it killed the Yankees. Nothing they could do about it.
$307 million payroll, and you have Jones and J.D. Davis and Narvaez playing.
And all in the same day. Like, why give Austin? I know it's lefty,
I don't know.
Austin Wells has been on fire.
He's swinging about well. I think that, of course I get resting him, of course. But
couldn't you have him DH?
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. Okay, so that the Mets aren't they're not throwing a complete game last night. Going in, nobody throws complete games.
Even Quintana was good, but geez, once these guys come out of the game and the 15th of the game comes to a screeching halt.
It does, but I think that this should change as well. Like, as much as I understand and embrace for the most part, although there are reverse splits, whatever, but, lefty, righty, righty, left, of trying to get a more favorable matchup, avoid the lefty on lefty, specifically less righty on righty. I understand that baseball. It's baseball 101. But I think that because pitchers go so shallow, if you will, into games. Yeah. I would rather have Austin Wells get 2 at-bats against a lefty, even if they're a little uncomfortable, but I'll take my chances of him running into a slider or something else that's hanging or a fastball that misses its spot. And then you get into the final 2 at-bats, probably when Quintana's gone, and there's a chance you're facing a righty. You're in the flow of the game.
Right.
You've been playing for the last 90 minutes, whereas...
It's an excellent point.
It's just, it's overthinking it.
It is overthinking it. Who's better? Who would you rather have up? I don't care who's on the mound.
Yep.
Lefty, righty. You want Wells up, Austin Wells up, or you want Jones up? Come on, you want J.D. Davis or you want Austin Wells?
I don't even want these guys on the team. Thinking about being up.
And then BT, okay, if they have to be on the team out of necessity, which you're right, it shouldn't be the case. Why do they have to be in the starting lineup? And even if they do have to be in the lineup out of necessity, why are they 1-4? That's going to be your sandwich for Judge and Soto? Jahmai Jones and J.D. Davis, two guys who, if you cut today, wouldn't sniff a big league contract elsewhere.
I don't have an answer. It is inexcusable, and it's really unacceptable.
Chris is in Manhattan. What's up, Chris?
Hey, guys. BT, I wanted to ask you what your feeling was on Aaron Judge not swinging the bat there. And listen, I'm not trolling Judge. I wish we had him on the Mets.
Yep.
But what he saw that entire game with Davis behind him, you got to swing the bat. Just like we get on Beltran for not swinging the bat. Judge it's Jake Diekman. It's Diekman. Why is he not swinging the bat?
Well,
there?
first of all, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna defend somebody who makes an out. I mean, you made it out. It's baseball. I get that. Would I love to see him swing? Sure. It was a very quality pitch too. I mean, it was a tough pitch. It's baseball. You know.
Well, you're right, BT. I do think also in a weird way the concept of Mendoza walking him, they almost lulled Judge. Like Judge all of a sudden is like, oh wait, someone's going to throw a pitch to me, and it worked in some kind of reverse psychology. Maybe I don't know.
I understand what you're saying there, and that was kind of my thought on like it's the reverse of Austin Wells. Thanks for the call, buddy. Like Austin Wells, I'd rather him play, and even if it's 2 empty at bats against the lefty to start, he's in the flow of the game. At bats 3 and 4, better spot. Where as Aaron Judge is, and that's a good word, he's kind of lulled into it where. Now, I don't know if that was the ultimate factor in the last at-bat where he didn't swing the bat. That was a quality pitch, to reiterate, but when you're not fed anything, you're almost conditioned to not check out because that's unfair to any pro athlete. But you know what I mean?
The human element that just you let down a little bit. First of all, I would not have pitched to Judge in that spot. I don't care that Soto walked in front of him.
Yep.
I don't care if the bases were loaded. I'm walking Aaron Judge and having a tie game and dealing with it. That's
You're not going to walk with to make it a tie game.
I know that sounds extreme.
Tie?
I'm not pitching to Aaron Judge. Yeah, you're going to lose if you pitch to him generally.
You didn't lose last night, you know?
Somehow Jake Diekman got him out. Now, I also think that, Judge was probably thinking along the lines of, they're not really going to pitch to me. They're going to pitch around me. The old, pitch around at bat.
Without actually intentionally
doing it, which they did the majority of the night.
Yep.
So I'm assuming that's what he's thinking. And Diekman, got ahead of him with the first pitch strike. And then that nasty pitch to get him
his
out.
kitchen sal. That's a tough pitch. I mean, you got to tip the cap. I mean, whether or not Diekman's the answer down the road for the Mets. I mean, that's a quality pitch. He gets paid too.
I cannot believe that Jake watching along all night, you're thinking, how the hell are the Mets going to get through this? I got Ottavino, and Nunez was okay, fine. He's the one guy maybe you trust. Maton, all right, he's all right, hanging on for dear life here. Who's closing this game out? Even Diaz I wouldn't trust in that spot, especially against the top of the order. And here's Jake Diekman pitching with a 5 ERA or whatever it is, and he's able to get – I know he walked Soto, but still be able to get through that top of the order there and get Aaron Judge. Unbelievable what happened last night. And to me, you credit the Mets for winning another ball game. We'll get to them a little bit, and there's a lot to like from the Mets and their win against the Yankees last night, but it's more about the Yankees and their loss. BT and Sal on the Fan. More your calls on the other side.